નવસારી અમે તમે સુરત રાઈટ એક જ ઘરના કહેવાય ને વિઘ્નેશ ચેક પટેલ Oh, hi, how are you? I was there simply too. You didn't see me? Didn't you see me? No, maybe. We're trying. I've been doing on Facebook and stuff for like 2 years. Yeah.
ऑनलाइन पे हमारा फ्रेंड हुआ आज मैंने बोला चलो यहाँ पे
मैं तो आज ही मिला इनको जानता हूँ कब से 2 साल से No I follow everybody even you I know everything about you बोलो you are married to Jonita's brother
oh
क्या बात है but I was there I'm a good friend with Shabana over there and she invited and I came to met everybody there Rahim and Yasmin Everyone. Yeah. I was sitting down there with the TMG group.
Oh, okay.
Right there with Fakar and all those.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice meeting you. You're doing good. Very good. मनोज भाई आगे तो जाओ. अच्छा. You know what? તમારું એક ગાયન મને બહુ યાદ રહી કાયમ
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
क्यों नहीं आप तो कर लेते थे अभी ये क्या होता है आंखें बंद वाली मतलब मॉनिटर वर्क करवाना था और चल लहू जिगर का दूंगा हंसी लबों की लाली को, है वफा क्या इस जहां को, एक दिन दिखला दूंगा मैं दीवाना। चुरा लिया है तुमने जो दिल को, नजर नहीं चुराना सनम, बदल के मेरी तुम जिंदगानी, कहीं बदल न जाना सनम। हो ले लिया दिल, हाय मेरा दिल, हाय दिल लेकर मुझको ना बहलाना। चुरा लिया है तुमने जो दिल को, नजर नहीं चुराना सनम, बदल के मेरी तुम जिंदगानी, कहीं बदल न जाना सनम। क्या अब नेक्स्ट
juga tahu list pudi juga.
लास्ट में चालू बंद करो ये सॉरी चालू चलो हे
હવે બપોર
वेट आरो करो बैट बटन ने बोलना है बैट करो हारो
कोरा कागज था ये मन मेरा, मेरा मेरा, लिख लिया नाम उस पे तेरा, तेरा तेरा। कोरा कागज था ये मन मेरा, लिख लिया नाम इस पे तेरा।
सुना आंगन था जीवन मेरा, बस गया रूठ जाके
सपने मैं डरता हूँ, निस दिन सपनों में देखा करता हूँ। टूट न जाए सपने मैं डरता हूँ, निस दिन सपनों में देखा करता हूँ। नैना कजरारे मतवारे ये इशारे, खाली दर्पण था ये मन मेरा, बस गया रूप इसमें तेरा।
कोरा कागज था ये मन मेरा, लिख लिया नाम इस पे तेरा। चैन गवाया मैंने, निंदिया गवाई, सारी सारी रात जागो दूँ मैं दुहाई। चैन गवाया मैंने, निंदिया गवाई, सारी सारी रात जागो दूँ मैं दुहाई। कहाँ थी ये बातें, मुलाकातें, ऐसी रातें, कोई दुश्मन था ये मन मेरा, बन गया जादू के तेरा।
कोरा कागज था ये मन मेरा, लिख लिया नाम इस पे तेरा। आहा हा हा, ओ हो।
Thank you.
Yeah, sounds good so far.
Perfect. Up to top.
દુનિયાભરની મેમરી છે તને કે બધું ઉડાડી લાવે નોટ કરે. હા આપણે हो
कसम आपकी कसम
याद तुम्हारी रही एक धूप सी बुझती रही नींद मुझसे नींद से मैं भागती चुभती रही रात भर बेरंगी गोरी चांदनी चुभती रही आग से जलती रही गिरती रही शबनम आपकी कसम आपकी कसम
झील सी आँखों में आशिक डूब के खो जाएगा जुल्फों के साए में दिल अरमा भरा सो जाएगा तुम चले जाओ नहीं तो कुछ न कुछ हो जाएगा डगमगा जाएंगे ऐसे हाल में कदम आपकी कसम आपकी कसम
करवटें बदलती रहे सारी रात हम आपकी कसम आपकी कसम आपकी
आपकी कसम आपकी कसम
कसम
Thank you.
In the monitor.
Oh, well, all effects. It's either all effects or no.
check
Yeah, yeah. So she asked for effects.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's okay, but okay.
Like if
Sing, sing, yes. Say
Don't
yes.
put more.
Check 1, 2.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
In the monitor, yes.
try it now.
test
Check 1, 2.
પેલા બેન બોલવા આવ્યા છે કઈ ઉભો રહે હરીશ they need mic.
Yes.
जिंदगी प्यार का गीत है
फोटो ले लो.
Namaste, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our 6th DMRC Gala. Before we get started in 2 minutes, I just want to go over some of the housekeeping with you. There are some new faces, so if you need to go to the washrooms, they're in the temple. You go down the stairs, and the men's on the left and the ladies on the right. We still encourage you, if you want to wear your mask and social distance, please go ahead and do so. Cases are rising. Right now, I would like to introduce my MC, Prakash Narain. Prakash has been doing the MCing for the gala for the past few years, and he has done a wonderful job. So we ask him to come every time. So Prakash, can you please come up to the microphone?
Good evening. Good evening, Namaskar, Sitaram. Welcome, everybody. Thank you, Janti, for your kind introduction. I just want to let you know that Janti is my co-MC. I'm just filling in with her. So, as you can tell, she's well dressed indeed for the job. Give her a round of applause, please. Again, on behalf of Dr. Dubey, the board of directors, and all the Voice of the Vedas members, welcome to this special event in aid of the Dubey Dialysis Center in Guyana. And I do hope you've been enjoying the entertainment provided by Mr. Sunil Patel and his group. Please give them a round of applause if you enjoyed that. Our program tonight is very straightforward. We're here to give an update as to what's happening in Guyana. Also, we'll have a few presentations, one of which will be by Dr. Dubey and some dignitaries that's here tonight. So as we get started with the program, I'll invite to the microphone Shri Krishna Mazirji, the president of Vishnu Mandir, hardworking individual. He has a speech. He's coming with a speech written in his hand, so usually it's not very long. So I'll ask Uncle Krishna to step forward. He's an individual that isn't always as visible as, say, Janti and others, but he's the guy that gets all the work done in the office upstairs and gets a lot of stuff like this coordinated. So welcome, Uncle Krishna.
Thank you, Mr. MC. And like I said, he just mentioned our co-MC looks smashing for the job tonight. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you, especially Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much to taking time, and everyone to taking time to join us here today. This has been a long journey. I remembered and was just reminded that we had our first, this dialysis, we had it was sort of a fundraising in 2011, and we started at, I think it was a host banquet hall. A few of us got together and started doing, and at that first one, I thought we raised over $50,000 or $60,000. From that time to now, if I'm almost correct, we would have raised up to, including the pandemic years, a plus or minus $2 million. And thanks to you, all of you who have joined us in the journey in which we are here today. That $2 million has helped. Your contribution has helped save lives in Guyana. We brought good hope, lots of hope to people who were never, ever been able to be treated free if they cannot afford, or with a subsidized treatment. And we'd like to thank each and every one of you and for being with us then, along the journey, and at this point in time. We had spent the funds that you gave us, and you will hear much more tonight, started at the Annandale, Dr. Dubey's parents' home, and started this small dialysis clinic, and then it has grown now into a hospital. And there's a branch also in New Amsterdam, and there are plans of going on the west coast of Mayoral, going towards the Essequibo coast. We plan to use some of the money that we raise here tonight, and we do hope to raise about $100,000 tonight to assist in the expansion of the dialysis clinic. So without your help, all of the sponsors, we'd like to thank you so much. We would never been able to get where we have gotten to. And more so, we are an organization of only volunteers. No one is paid for this job, and having to deal with overseas governments and overseas shipping documentation and etc., it does take a lot of time. And we do have lots of good people that have helped us along the way. And we'd like to thank them for being with us from there until now. And like I said, it's not easy dealing with overseas, but we have gotten it done. And we'd like to thank all of you for your support. That is our volunteers with whom we'll never been able to get there. And so I'd like to invite you to sit and enjoy the program, and I'll hand you back to our MCs now. Welcome and enjoy it.
Thank you, Mr. Mazur. I also want to say welcome to the online viewers. If you're watching, please do enjoy the music because we're going to hand you over to the band right now. The band is Bollywood tunes, and you're doing a fantastic job. We're really enjoying the music tonight. So for the online viewers, we are, as Mr. Mazur mentioned, we're taking donations tonight. So if you want to make any donation, please do call the main line at 905-886-1724, or there's the e-transfer donations at vishnumandir.com. So over to the band.
Test.
Hey, let us do.
ધંધામાં ધ્યાન આપો યાર.
Record करते हैं. Ready? Yeah.
मुसाफिर हूँ यारों, ना घर है ना ठिकाना, है मुसाफिर हूँ यारों, ना घर है ना ठिकाना, मुझे चलते जाना है, बस चलते जाना। मुसाफिर हूँ यारों, ना घर है ना ठिकाना, मुझे चलते जाना है, बस चलते जाना। एक राह रुक गई तो और जुड़ गई, मैं मुड़ा तो साथ साथ राह मुड़ गई। एक राह रुक गई तो और जुड़ गई, मैं मुड़ा तो साथ साथ राह मुड़ गई। हवा के परों पर मेरा आशियाना, मुसाफिर हूँ यारों, ना घर है ना ठिकाना, मुझे चलते जाना है, ओ बस चलते जाना। दिन ने हाथ थाम कर इधर इशारे से उधर बुला लिया दिन ने हाथ थाम कर इधर बिठा लिया रात ने इशारे से उधर बुला लिया सुबह से शाम से मेरा दोस्ताना मुसाफिर हूँ यारों न घर है ना ठिकाना मुझे चलते जाना है बस चलते जाना
Thank you very much, Sunilji. Round of applause for what a wonderful Kishore Kumar item. Thank you very much, Sunil. So once again, I just want to repeat what Janti had mentioned for our online viewers. You can make your donations by going to the website or do an e-transfer or call the number 905-886-1724. Thank you very much. One of our first speakers today, I have the honor and distinct pleasure of introducing a very distinguished gentleman. But before I do, I just want to see if I can recall with you. You guys remember the mayor of Richmond Hill? There used to be kind of a, I would say a everyday, not the, yeah, everyday person here. You remember Mayor Arrow? Right. So we've got the newly appointed mayor here today, the Mayor David West, Your Worship. If I can welcome him to come on to address us, but he knows that he's, replacing somebody that has a deep-rooted relationship with Dr. Dubey, not Vishnu Mandir, but with Dr. Dubey specifically. And I know that he's asking you to speak first for a specific reason. So welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks very much, everybody. And I can vouch that that is absolutely true. In the many conversations I've had with former Mayor Barrow, he spoke very, very highly of you, Dr. Dubey, and this group and all the great work that they do. So it's an honor to be here. So thank you. I got the invitation to come today. I was honored. And, the more I'm hearing about the reason that we're all here today to support this great, fantastic charity, it amazes me that, something we're doing here in little old Richmond Hill is having such a positive impact, thousands and thousands of kilometers away. And I think it really does speak of the power of community and our community doing good work here in Richmond Hill, but also doing good work in other places in the world. And I am extremely proud of that. I look around and I see, and I've heard from a number of people that I've had the honor to speak to so far tonight. There's many corners of the world that are represented here today. And coming from a guy that's moved a total of 6 kilometers from where I was born, I mean, I went to Langstaff High School and that was about it for me. I find it amazing to see my community of Richmond Hill with such a global reach. So thank you, everybody. that's here tonight and is generously contributing to this great cause. Thank you, Dr. Dubé, for all the work that you're doing, and all of the many people, I'm sure, that have took a lot of time out of their busy schedules to put this on. And as was said earlier, they're all volunteers. They're all doing this to make our corner of the world better, and I thank you very much. So on behalf of Council, best wishes for a great evening tonight. You certainly got a good deal on the weather, so have a great evening. Thank you.
I think that it's only appropriate for me to thank the mayor for being here. And we are hoping for, I know that you were appointed in, excuse me, hello. I thought, when I'm talking, nobody else talk, right? So I'd like to tell you, sir, that you were appointed, but now I know you will be elected in October, and I hope that you will be as good a friend to us as David Barrow was. And as I had a conversation with you, we need an ambulance in Guyana. And I had told David Barrow that 5 years ago. But instead, he sent one to Jamaica. So I hope that you will send the next one to Guyana. I know you have sent one to Guyana already, but we are begging for ourselves. So please.
I'll drive it there myself.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Over to Prakash.
Thank you, Dr. Dubé. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's not possible to drive it, but because I know you're Richmond Hill guy and probably think the 401 is far away, but we'll look out for that. A few weeks, maybe last week, I should say, I had the distinct pleasure of being in Guyana with Dr. Dubé, and I just want to reflect on my experience, especially in Berbice. So for some of you guys that are maybe new, the dialysis center started in Annandale, as Uncle Krishna mentioned, at the ancestral home of Dr. Dubé's parents. And from Annandale, they've expanded to service a community in Berbice. So for the non-Guyanese that are here, Berbice is sort of we call it counties in Guyana, but that doesn't send the right message. It's more like a province, because a county here is like a little smaller street, right, Mr. Mayor? Like in a country area. So in Guyana we say county, but it's more like a province, if I can say that. So from Georgetown to Annandale is about a half-an-hour drive, and from Annandale to where the new Berbice Center is about an hour-and-a-half drive. So I was with Dr. Dubé and his team, Dr. Ganji and others, and I can tell you, the unit there was busy, very busy, because the services are much needed. The staff there, I met the head nurse is Nurse Rochelle, very compassionate person and definite asset to be there. She was talking about her experiences of how many patients are there versus the number of beds that are there. There are only 9 beds, and it's overwhelming with the number of patients coming on a twice-a-week basis, once-a-week basis sort of thing. And as she was kind of explaining the process of, how they would have to work overtime, and because the hospital doesn't pay overtime, they've got to kind of cut their hours the next day and adjust schedules and so on. So some of those challenges are there, but I want to report back to you that, and Dr. Dubé I'm sure will agree, the staff there are very conscientious of the patient's care, and they're doing a fantastic job to make sure that the patient's care is their priority in a very challenging situation, but they're doing that for sure. The other thing that I observed in Berbice was, compared to Annandale, the physical space seemed to be a bit of a struggle. And I know Dr. Dubé is addressing that. He'll probably talk about that later. So I just want to give you an update with Berbice that the unit had opened, it had closed, and it's back open again. And the people there are definitely finding the services very useful, and the need is growing. The other thing about Berbice, I just want to mention a story here. We met a patient. His name is Mr. Mohammed. He used to be a patient at the dialysis center in Annandale. And if you remember what I said in terms of time for travel, This gentleman lived in Kurivitan, which is almost the border of Suriname, which translated to about 2 and 45 minute, close to 3 hour drive to Annandale. Now that the center in Barbies is open, he's able to go there for treatment. And he was, he's doing it twice a week. So that was a good example, and Dr. Dubey met this patient, and it was good to see that the changes that this gentleman and others are experiencing because of Barbies. So thank you to all our donors and sponsors, and give yourselves a round of applause for continuing to support Dr. Dubey in this initiative, because it is making a difference, one patient at a time. We want to this time welcome our MP, our very own MP Majid Jawari. If I can ask you to address us. You don't need much of an introduction, do you? But I'll do the honors. This gentleman has been here serving this community for a while, and more importantly, what relates to us here at Vishnu Mandir and Voice of Vedas, he's been very supportive of what goes on here, particularly at Peace Park and other ventures that the organization takes on. He's kind of one of those guys that's always here, and I want to let you know that as an organization, that's much appreciated. Politicians are very busy, and you are always finding the time to be here. So thank you very much, and I ask you to address us.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Dr. Dubey. Let me start with acknowledging the indigenous land that we are holding this event and the treaties that we are bound with, but specifically this park as well, and the leadership that we see from this organization, as well as Dr. Dubey. As I was sitting and reflecting, it was very interesting. I've been a member of parliament for almost 7 years now, and I've attended almost all the events, specifically as it's related to the dialysis and some of the fundraising and the philanthropy work that's being done by Dr. Dubey. I've never been to Guyana. I've never been to any of the dialysis center or the burn units or any of those that that Dr. Dubey continuously raised funds for. However, every time that I listen to Dr. Dubey, every time that I listen to the speakers who stand before you, I'm amazed how vividly they bring the situation and the effort that you put in by raising fund into the event and into my eyes. You can practically close your eyes and imagine an individual who used to drive for 2.5 hours now does not have to drive, or the person that could not get dialysis, now they can afford to get dialysis in $10, which before it was hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And as you attend one event and another event and another event, you look and you get a sense of the dimension and the magnitude of the effort and the number of people that's really, really helping. As years goes by and as event goes by, we come, whether it's the Peace Park or whether it's here, whether it's inside or whether it's in a gala event. What always stays with me is the generosity of the people like you, and despite the fact that we're hopefully turning a corner around the pandemic, and it's been a very, very challenging 2 years, still Dr. Dubey and this, the organization leads the way in making sure that philanthropists and people like you come out and really help. And I'm sure pandemic has hit Guyana and the people in there as well. But one thing I can tell you for fact is that they're not forgotten. They're not forgotten because people like you here, and we have leaders such as Dr. Dubey and his support staff and the amazing volunteer who make sure that they're not forgotten. So we may be living in Canada, but the support that you give helps those all over the world, specifically in Guyana. So thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Dubey, for your leadership, and also want to acknowledge my colleagues from all levels of government who are here and lends a hand. It is our duty to make sure that we are available and we are supportive of individuals as well as organizations who are leading not only in our community but across the world. So once again, thank you very much. It's a great honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think it looks like we're going to have a caravan going to Guyana with the mayor, the MP. Everybody needs to go to Guyana. So, all right. So, Doc, that'll be a good picture moment if we take the mayor, the MP down to Guyana. We can present the ambulance and something else, maybe. It'll be good. Let's think of it for next year. Thank you very much. So, as we continue, I just want to introduce the band Bollywood Tunes again to give us an item or two, and then we'll continue. In the meanwhile, somebody actually sent me a message that they're making a donation for you to sing a specific song, song number 2. I'll come to you with the name just now. So if anybody has those other requests, we'll take the donation, absolutely. So if you can sing the first one, I'll go to the table that requested that song, and I'll let you know what the second one is, right? In the meanwhile, just a quick reminder, if you want to make a donation, the tables, the credit card machine is outside, right? So we can do that there as well, or just give me a little shout over and I'll come over and talk to you. Okay, over to Sunil and Bollywood Tunes. Thank you. Give them a round of applause, please.
Test. Check. Thanks for tuning in online.
जाने जा ढूंढता फिर रहा हूँ तुम्हें रात दिन मैं यहाँ से वहाँ जाने जा ढूंढता फिर रहा हूँ तुम्हें रात दिन मैं यहाँ से वहाँ मुझको आवाज़ दो छुप गए हो सनम तुम कहाँ जाने जा ढूंढता
very much. Thank you very much, Sunil. Very well indeed. So as I mentioned, I had a special request for somebody. Special request is from it's a Kishore Kumar special, Sunil.
Oh yeah, perfect.
All right, Kishore Kumar. Movie is Andaz. You know the song?
Yes, ready.
Ready. All right. So that song was specially dedicated to Pandit Boj, being requested by Auntie Tej for Pandit Boj. And the whole idea is to, as you prepare for the song, especially the viewers online, anybody requesting a song or a special item, Mahua and Sunil are two excellent Bollywood singers. They do more than Bollywood as well, but we'll stick to Bollywood tonight, and they'll take a request from you. And I'm sure any song you request, they can do justice to it.
We are ready.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
जिंदगी एक सफर है सुहाना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना। जिंदगी एक सफर है सुहाना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना। हाँ, जिंदगी एक सफर है सुहाना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना। ओले ओले ओ, ओले ओले ओ, ओले ओले ओ, ओले ओ, ओले ओले ओ, ओले ओले ओ, ओले ओले ओ, ओले ओ। चांद तारों से चलना है आगे, आसमानों से बढ़ना है आगे। अरे चांद तारों से चलना है आगे, आसमानों से बढ़ना है आगे। पीछे रह जाएगा ये ज़माना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना। हाँ, जिंदगी एक सफर है सुहाना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना। ओले ओले ओ, ओले ओले ओ, ओले ओले ओ, ओले ओ, ओले ओले ओ, ओले ओले ओ, ओले ओले ओ, ओले ओ। मौत आनी है आएगी एक दिन, जान जानी है जाएगी एक दिन। अरे मौत आनी है आएगी एक दिन, जान जानी है जाएगी एक दिन। ऐसी बातों से क्या घबराना, हाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना। हाँ, जिंदगी एक सफर है सुहाना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना। टिटी टिटी टे, उड़ले उड़ले ओ, उड़ले उड़ले ओ, उड़ले ओ, उड़ले उड़ले ओ, उड़ले उड़ले ओ, उड़ले उड़ले ओ, उड़ले ओ। Thank you.
Thank you very much there, Sunil. Excellent. And you got the moves to match it too, Sunil. That's the key. Correct? As we move on the program, thank you very much, Sunil. We will ask, I'd like to ask an individual who's always served here at Vishnu Mandir and has been around our community and has served as much as every temple I can imagine in some capacity or other. An accountant by profession, a family man in our circle, very well respected and well spoken. I'll ask none other than Uncle Onkar Prasad to say a few words today.
Thank you, Prak. Vidya Guru, Dr. Dubey, Mr. Mayor, honorable guests, Assembly of Divine Souls. I haven't gone to the
I'll come over, no problem. Okay. So thank you very much. Our next speaker is someone here representing Dr. Sonia Anand from the McMaster Hospital. And as you know, Dr. Sonia Anand is very actively involved with what happens in Guyana and a very strong supporter of Dr. Dubey's initiatives. And I'll ask Dr. Rahul Chanchalani to do a short presentation. Yeah. So we'll hear from Dr. G in a short presentation, and then we'll continue. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Dubey, for inviting us here. I am Rahul Chanchalani. I'm a pediatric nephrologist at McMaster Children's Hospital in Hamilton, and I work with Dr. Sonia Anand on a lot of South Asian research studies. So I am with my colleague Deepika Desai and Farah Khan, and Dr. Sonia sent her best wishes here. So I would say thank you for inviting us. Thank you so much for all the help that you give us in our studies. And we would, it's an honor to be here, to be honest, and to see all the great work that has been done in Guyana. So I would say thank you, Dr. Dubey. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. G. I want to invite to the microphone an individual who, again, like Uncle Onkar, very popular guy in our community, always noticeable for the actions that he performs. Himself and his wife has always been very active at Vishnu Mandir for many years. He's been on the board for many years. And I don't need to introduce this person anymore other than to call his name, and you know exactly how much work he does. I'm calling Uncle Terry to address us.
Thank you, Prak. Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good afternoon or good evening to each and every one of you. It is always a pleasure and an honor to be a part of any activity or event to do with Vishnu Mandir. I don't want to sell it, and I do not want to sell Dr. Dubey. I'll make it simple, I'll make it short. The Dialysis Center in Guyana does an incredible job. And whatever support we can continue to offer is an absolutely good thing and the right thing to do. So I close by saying thank you and to request, ask, and to beg, whatever you are comfortable with in any way, your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Uncle Terry. As I mentioned, I was in Guyana with Dr. Dubey, and my experience in Berbice, as I mentioned, was very eye-opening. But when we went back to Annandale, most of you might have known, or I'll remind you if you didn't remember, Dr. Dubey initiated an eye clinic there. And we don't have the slides to show it here, but you'll see it on social media soon. There was in excess of 40 patients sitting there waiting to see the ophthalmologist. And the level of care that I can see that was being offered is a testament to the services offered in the clinic in general, but also when Dr. Dubey is there or not, it seems as if the service is the same. Just like Vishnu Mandir, when he's not here, Pandit Boj, Uncle Robin, Janti and the crew do just as good of a service. He doesn't think that always, but when he's away, the work still gets done. And at the clinic there, I can tell it's the same thing. The eye clinic in particular, though, I met with Dr. Sugrim, and very humble individual, speaks very, very nicely to the patients. And they're all lining up waiting. And he's there every Wednesday. And I must say the care that they're offering there as well has to be to that service because people have been traveling from far away to get there. the services that they offer as well include getting your glasses, prescription filled, and you can have a test for glaucoma. You can have, the regular vision screening and so forth. So these are things that are very rampant in Guyana, like glaucoma, for example, and they're doing and offering that service on the East Coast, which is very much needed. So that's a good initiative that's happening. So I just want to bring that to your attention. As we continue with a few more speeches, I'm going to ask Mr. Raj Tanna to address us. Supporters of this initiative, supporters of the Mandir, and has always been with us. So I'll ask Uncle Raj Tanna to address us. And Chuck? Okay. Uncle Chuck has been to Guyana as well, and he has visited the clinic. Oh, there you go. So you can also give your perspective. Thank you.
Sitaram, everybody. Dr. G, I must say that, you've signed a contract with somebody up there every time the weather. So that's been one of the best contracts. But better than that is the kind of contract that you've got in the seva that you do. We've been to Guyana, yes, and we've spoken about it many times a few years back. And we've seen the clinic and we've seen the work that is done there. And obviously, we are all very proud of what Dr. G has done there. But going forward, I've already seen so much of more work that has been done in the last 3 years. And honestly, we can't wait to go back again. We are going to go back again and see what is happening there. So, the other thing is, we all over here are so blessed. You are so blessed. We are standing here. We are talking about the people over there. But we are so blessed that we are able to do this even. And through his blessings, through Dr. G's blessings, we all feel very happy that we are able to do this. So I encourage many of you who have not gone and visited the clinic, please do so. Thank you.
Jai Shri Ram. I'll make it very short, and I'm going to touch on 3 points. I was very fortunate that I got to go to Guyana with Chuck, his brother Bulesh, who's not able to be here today, and Dr. Dubey. I just tagged along, and I'll tell you something. What I saw over there was remarkable. The clinic was a modern clinic, very well set up. We saw patients. Unfortunately, I cannot show you my pictures or my videos or my slides, but we saw firsthand of what happens after what Dr. Dubey does over here. Every penny, just like Omkar said, every dime is being put to good use over there. When I was there, you could feel it could be our aunt, our sister, our brother. There were people who were getting an amazing, amazing treatment. On the second point, I'm going to say every one of us should try to contribute. I really believe that if 100 people give $5,000, we'll have a float of $500,000. And that goes a long way over there. Thirdly, I want to finish by saying is I'm prepared to go back to Guyana again. Now we have direct flights over there. When we went, it was not a direct flight. It was a 6-hour layover in Trinidad, and we got to spend a lot of time with Kasim on the plane. So it's a direct flight now. Secondly, they got new hotels over there. When we were there was only one nice hotel. Now I think so they got 3 or 4. They got a Marriott over there. So those are the good things about going to Guyana. I'm willing to go back again. If Mayor West is willing to give the ambulance, I will be more than happy to go along. Yes, we'll go. And if Majid is going, I'll tag along with you too. So if any one of us want to go, we can make it a pilgrimage on a biannual basis. So let's all go to Guyana, make it a trip, and enjoy ourselves. On that note, thank you very much, and God bless. Jai Shri Ram. Oh, sorry, Prakash. You're hiding.
No. Thank you very much, Uncle Chuck, as well. So that sounds like an interesting plan. So as soon as Uncle Leonard, you're here, AirTouch Travel, you can work out some packages. airfare, hotel, and day trip to the dialysis center one day, and then day trip to Berbice on the next day. So there are some hotels in Berbice as well too. All right. So we just got another request for a song, so I'm going to ask. But this is general. There's no specific song, but something nice the individual said. So if you can, you'll entertain us with one song, and then we'll continue.
Just for next song, I would like to call upon my another singer. He's a very good voice of Mukesh, and I hope you'll like it. His name is Pratap. So please put your hands together for Pratap. Thank you.
With Guruji Dr. Dubey's permission, I would like to perform this song.
कहीं दूर जब दिन ढल जाए, सांझ की दुल्हन बदन चुराए, चुपके से आए। कहीं दूर जब दिन ढल जाए, सांझ की दुल्हन बदन चुराए, चुपके से आए। मेरे ख्यालों के आंगन में कोई सपनों के दीप जलाए, दीप जलाए। कहीं दूर जब दिन ढल जाए, सांझ की दुल्हन बदन चुराए, चुपके से आए।
Now you can see me.
कभी यूं ही जब हुई बोझल सांसें, भर आई बैठे बैठे जब यूं ही आंखें। कभी यूं ही जब हुई बोझल सांसें, भर आई बैठे बैठे जब यूं ही आंखें। कभी मचल के प्यार से चल के छुए कोई मुझे, पर नजर न आए, नजर न आए। कहीं दूर जब दिन ढल जाए, सांझ की दुल्हन बदन चुराए, चुपके से आए।
अगर अच्छा लगता है ताली बजा लो।
दिल जाने मेरे सारे भेद ये गहरे, हो गए कैसे मेरे सपने सुनहरे। दिल जाने मेरे सारे भेद ये गहरे, हो गए कैसे मेरे सपने सुनहरे। यही तो मंजिल अपना है अपना, अपना ही मोके कौन पराए, कौन पराए। कहीं दूर जब दिन ढल जाए, सांझ की दुल्हन बदन चुराए, चुपके से आए। मेरे ख्यालों के आंगन में कोई सपनों के दीप जलाए, दीप जलाए। कहीं दूर जब दिन ढल जाए, सांझ की दुल्हन बदन चुराए चुपके से आए. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pratapji.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
There's one more beautiful song.
जो दिल को तसल्ली दे वो साज उठा लाओ दम घुटने से पहले ही आवाज उठा लाओ जो दिल को तसल्ली दे वो साज उठा दम घुटने से पहले ही आवाज उठा लाओ परछाइयाँ रह जाती निशानी है जिंदगी और कुछ भी नहीं तेरी मेरी कहानी है एक प्यार का नगमा है मौजों की रवानी है जिंदगी और कुछ भी नहीं तेरी मेरी कहानी है तेरी मेरी तेरी मेरी कहानी है थैंक यू
Thank you.
Special request here. We're switching up to Mukesh now. Sunil? Only Mukesh now. Dr. Dubey, Mukesh.
No. We have Kishore, we have Lata Asha. So,
whilst Pratap is getting prepared for that special request, I'd like to acknowledge some donors that came in. Laj Prasharji, $2,500. Lilawati Mohabir, $500. Shobha Arjun, 501. Usha Bandani, $500. The longer they take, more I can announce, right? Okay, so Uncle Krishnam is there, $1,000. Round of applause for our donors so far. I'll continue to update on some more that's coming online. Over to Pratapji. Special request by Dr. Dubey.
सारंगा तेरी याद में, सारंगा तेरी याद में नैन हुए बेचैन हो, मधुर तुम्हारे मिलन बिना दिन कटते नहीं रैन हो, सारंगा तेरी याद में। वो अम्बुआ का झूलना, वो पीपल की छाँव, घूंघट में जब चांद था, मेहंदी लगी थी पाँव, हाथ उजड़ के रह गया, उजड़ के रह गया, वो अम्बुआ का धूम, ओ सारंगा तेरी याद में नैन हुए बेचैन हो, मधुर तुम्हारे मिलन बिना बिन कटते नहीं हैं हो, सारंगा तेरी याद में। Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to introduce you formally to my co-MC, who has been very inactive. So I think I have to introduce her properly, then she'll do justice to her job. This young lady is the Executive Vice President of the Voice of Vedas organization here. She is the leader of the Lakshmi Sabha. And what does that mean? As a leader of the Lakshmi Sabha, she is in command and leads the strongest group of people in the organization. Right, Dr. B? That's fair to say. So, without further ado, I'll ask Janti ji to introduce our next speaker. How is that? At least give her a round of applause. She lost the hat.
Thank you, Prakash. That was very gracious of you. I want to say thank you to the Bollywood tunes, Eka Pyad Kanagamaye. That's one of my favorite oldies. Thank you to all the speakers and viewers, all the donors online. You can request a tune for your donation. So call in to the main line for that. So the next person does not need introduction at all, but it's my absolute pleasure and honor to introduce our leader, our visionary leader, our religious advisor, a person that I work closely with, a person where I gain insights, a man with foresights, hindsights, and I'm really blessed to work with him to raise funds for DMRC and all the works under the Global Care Outreach. And this person is none other than our dear Dr. Dubé.
Thank you, Janti. The hard-working group of ladies, I think I have a video recording of myself fetching out the chairs to put it on the table. Could I ask you, have that recording there still? To say how hard-working these ladies are. So I put all these chairs, Azim, I put all these chairs together. I spread the linen on the tables. I put the centerpieces, and I have video of all these things. And then these people come and say how hard-working they are. So anyhow, they are hardworking. They have done a lot of work. They have prepared so many things, especially under the leadership of Janti. I'm very proud of her as a leader of Lakshmi Sabha. Of course, of the ladies who help always to look after me are Shamde and Leela. I don't see Leela, but I know Shamde is here. And I would like to thank them also. Ladies and gentlemen, this dialysis clinic that you have heard about, we have got, I will ask Professor Ganji to speak after me because he is the one from the McMaster Nephrology Unit, together with Alistair, a little smaller scale, but Azim Ganji has been the one who puts his whole enthusiasm. You know what enthusiasm means, by the way? Anybody know what's the derivation of the word enthusiasm? It comes from idios, the Greek derivative, means to be in touch with God. Enthusiasm comes from a Greek derivative, means to be in touch with God. Azim will go to Guyana and he will have meetings upon meetings upon meetings just to make sure that our dialysis clinic come up to a standard where it can sustain itself. And today, I am proud to say, by the end of the year, when our ORs and so forth are ready, we will be able to sustain ourselves at the dialysis clinic in Guyana, in Annandale, in New Amsterdam. But Azim was on a call with me last night together with Dr. Baldev Singh, who you'll hear from this evening also, with a call to someone from Parika. And he is going to build a building for us to suit our dialysis needs. He's a friend of Dr. Baldev Singh. And Azim was there with us last night talking about it. Ram, you know where Parika is, right? Parika is a place where we went with a boat for 2 hours to go to Baganara, and we nearly died on the boat. You remember that boat? Go bump, 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 bump all the time. You remember that boat? I will never go back on that boat again. Anyhow, that's a speedboat. You know that boat, Baldev? How the boat, how do you go? Anyhow. So, in about 3 months, I will think, we will start a dialysis clinic in Parika. And that will serve Essequibo. We have 4 patients coming from Essequibo to Annandale. Can you imagine the length of time, the money they pay for fares to go to Annandale? So whether we lose or not, we are going to make the clinic in Parika so that all of y'all will. This is what we are raising funds for here is not only for Parika. I mean, Winston, you don't know about, I never told you about Parika, but this was only gelled last night. Winston is my very strong right-hand person in this matter. And this as the eye clinic we talked about, and we have someone in Guyana, right in Annandale right now to look after our CT scan. So hopefully the CT scan will be operative on Monday, hopefully. And all these things are possible only because of the help of people like you all, friends like you, so many people like you who have donated liberally to this organization. One of the persons who donated liberally to us is IDRF. They have donated, I would think, nearly half a billion? Nearly half a billion, maybe? More than half a billion. More than half a billion. More than half a billion Canadian dollars, in case you think it's Guyana dollars. Canadian dollars. We are all, the people, the patients are going to get some help from the government of Guyana. They are going to get $600,000 for each dialysis that they do. But the money goes to the patient, and it goes in a lump sum check. And you know our Guyanese people, when they see a lump sum money of $3,000 US, and they, first of all, the eye open big. They see it, but they never see that kind of money before. Then they'll go drink more rum. And by the time half the year finished, all the money done. But we have laid a rule: no more free dialysis in the clinic, because government is paying them $6,000 for each dialysis. We're going to have that. And before Dr. Ganji left Guyana and Dr. Baldev Singh was there with him, we got together with some consultants from Georgetown Hospital who will be going to Annandale from Monday to Friday, at least Monday to Thursday, right, Baldev? Monday to Thursday so far, to do consult on it, like internal medicine consult, cardiology, etc., etc. The eye clinic is going good. Gastroenterology is going good because the gastroenterologist is from Georgetown Hospital, but their scope does not work. So they come to Annandale and they get scope there. All these facilities that we are offering is about 30% less than the charges in Guyana. One of the persons here with us tonight who has helped tremendously, as I've always told you, is Dr. Suryanarayan Ram Mohan. He has come down there and he has given his all. Dr. Ganji and other doctors from the nephrology clinic has gone to Annandale, and they've said we have more fistulas than they have in Hamilton. At least that we also the last time. And for example, the last time myself and Dr. Ramohan went down together with another surgeon, we did 22 fistulas. Fistulas is that something, a little operation in the hand here, so the people don't have to get a dialysis with a catheter. Because in Guyana, they die from infection with the catheter because they don't care the catheter. It gets infected and they die. Young people. We take it out here, we put it in the groins, we do all sorts of things, but yet they die. So it is a great service Dr. Ramohan has done for us in Guyana. I have here with us an individual who has, the last time we held a gala, he contributed over $100,000 to us. Besides that, he has given money to us to buy dialysis machines. Today, he has donated over $5,000 to us. I would like him to say a few words before I ask the doctors to speak. I'm speaking about Dr. Steve Gupta. Let's give him a big round of applause, please.
Thank you, Dr. Dubey, and good evening, everyone. It's an honor and pleasure to be here tonight, and I'm gratified to see all of you here, and also even more gratified to see that all of you are contributing for such a great cause that Dr. Dubey has started in Guyana. And those people are really vulnerable. They need help, and he's been doing for a number of years. And I have seen, and I know Dr. Dubey for over 35 years, and his service to humanity, not even as a doctor, but also as a community member, is unbelievable what he's doing. He has devoted all his life for doing whatever he's doing, and he has also been able to ask all of you to contribute in it and to help. And it's a tremendous cause. I would request all of you and urge all of you to not only you donate generously, but also ask your friends and relatives if they can do that. That will go a long way. That would be a great help. And it's very hard to say words about Dr. Dubey, but I must say that my Guruji once said that, he wrote a verse and which fits Dr. Dubey and his life, what he has done. And it's in Hindi, but I'll say it in Hindi and somebody can translate it for you if you need to, or I can and later. And this is how it goes. Karo karm aisa manuj janam lekar. Karo karm aisa manuj janam lekar कि जीवन महा मृत्यु से जीत जाए. खींचो चित्र ऐसा समय के पटल पर, तेरे जीत जाने से जग जीत जाए. तेरे जीत जाने से जग जीत जाए. That's what Dr. Dubey is all about. And thank you very much. God bless you all and keep giving generously. And thank you very much for giving me a couple of minutes to say a few words.
Thank you, Steve. Steve is a great philanthropist. He has built a wellness center for us up there that you see with all those glass things, and we are going to have an opening as soon as the roof stops leaking. Not your fault, but your guy's fault. I will ask Dr. Ram Mohan to say of his experience. We just came back from Guyana about a month ago, and he, together with Dr. Faisal, who is not here today with us, and they are going to do laser vein clinic in Guyana. You know that we're going to pay a lot of money for if you want to have your varicose veins done without surgery. Big money maker. So he's going to give all the money to the clinic, by the way. So don't worry, think that he's making it for himself. And he has been there. As a matter of fact, he taught me to do fistulas. I taught before, but I never used to do fistulas. And when I was working at St. Catherine's, fistulas had to be done. And I alone went to do fistulas. And then he came down, and the fistulas became much more easier and better. So here you are, Dr. Suryanarayan Ramohan.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here in this wonderful evening with a lot of very good people. I have been going to Guyana for the past several years. I think recently we made our 19th trip, and we came back only a few weeks back. What's different this time was that for the first time in all these years, we were able to do some surgeries in Berbice. All this time, all our surgeries were concentrated in 2 hospitals in Georgetown. And it was on behalf of Doctors Frendo and Faisal Naji. I really thank Dr. Dubey for the opportunity to be involved in this work in there. While we were there, we also had a look at the operating rooms that are being built in the Dubey Medical Center. And I'm pleased to see that this is coming along quite well, and hopefully in the very near future, we'll be able to do all our surgeries there. It's very important that we have our own operating room functioning there for obvious reasons, because our time management is better. We now rely on the goodwill of people in other hospitals to provide the room. So that's why we go on a weekend when they don't have elective surgeries. However, when they have an emergency, so we are put on hold, so we have to wait for that to finish so that we can continue with our surgeries. So our time management will become much better once we have our own operating room in there. Not just that, but like Dr. Dubey said, we want to expand the work that we do, not just limiting ourselves to dialysis access, which is very important. We also want to perform other surgeries, like, say, for example, carotid endarterectomy to prevent stroke, to do a bypass in the leg to prevent loss of leg, or even aneurysm repair in there. We did manage to train one of the doctors who's currently working in Guyana. He was here for a year. So he's coming along very good, and he's part of the team over there. So there will be some continuity in care because that's very important. It's not just enough to do the surgeries and take off. You know, they have to be looked after in there. But a lot of these things, to me, you know, when he first started, I was the first one to tell him that he's not going to be able to do it. When he said that he wanted to do dialysis in Guyana, I said, no, you can't do it. It's not just plugging a machine to the wall and to the other end to the patient, because there's a lot of work to be done. He said, I'll make it happen, and he did. So if anyone visits the dialysis unit in Guyana, you'll be very proud to see a well-oiled machine working there, thanks to him, and it's fantastic. So with all this, you know, we keep on expanding our reach to do more and more procedures in there, to make more treatments available to the people in Guyana. And these were dreams, but now these are really achievable targets. And I think that we should be able to do that thanks to your generosity and the generosity of a lot of other people in there. Thank you very much for inviting me to be part of this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Ram. You know where these doctors go down? Himself, Dr. Ganji, and others, they pay their own passage. They pay their own hotels. I try to grab a free meal for them here or there, but otherwise, because especially Dr. Ganji, he see some big red stuff in the where I eat is a vegetarian place, and he thought it was tomatoes. So he chewed one, and it was not a tomato. So I leave the rest to your own imagination. He couldn't talk for 2 days after. So anyhow, they pay their passage there, and they look after. They really do philanthropic work. I would like to also welcome Dr. Narendra Singh, who has done a lot of work in Guyana in pediatrics, and I'll let him talk about it later on. But now it gives me great pleasure to asking Dr. Azim Ganji to address us. And while he's coming up, can you all prepare 2 songs to sing after he finishes, please? So Dr. Azim is a professor. You see how young he is? He's a professor, vice president of St. Joseph's Hospital, head of transplant in, of course, Hamilton, and transplant nephrology. And also, he has a whole set of certificates in his office where they go, I don't know what or what. You know, I got a few certificates, but I don't know where they are. Somebody goes, so somebody asked me one day in my practice, I don't see any certificate. I said, I don't know where the hell they are, but anyhow. But these doctors need to go all the while. My God, so many certificates. But Dr. Ganji, professor, head of transplant, one of the great philanthropists, and he has a patient here who he assisted to get a kidney transplant just about 2 months ago, and we thank him very much for all that work that he did. A patient from our temple, and that person is doing extremely well at the moment, and we are so happy because of his hard work and what he had to do, because the wife kidney could not match with the husband kidney, so he had to arrange a switch, and her kidney went to somebody else kidney went to Anyway, he got it done.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Brad. It's really a great honor and truly a privilege to be here again and be invited back here again. It's so special. I think the word visionary is probably an understatement for Dr. Dubey. And just like Dr. Ramahan said, when Dr. Dubey came by around 2009, I think it was, he mentioned that he wanted to build a dialysis unit because so many young people were dying of kidney failure. And when we say young, it's not like Canadian young. It is like in your 20s. It is in your teens. Okay, and so we went down there and saw these young individuals. And I still remember the story, like I always tell you every year. This one young individual, a man, but in his mid-20s, came by with his wife, 3-year-old child, and the wife had about an 8 or 9 month old baby, and with kidney failure. And I literally could not do anything for this individual except to say, go home, get things ready, and you will eventually end up passing away. That was probably the worst time in my life, I'd say, where you literally felt hopeless looking after somebody. So when Dr. Dubey talked about the idea of building a dialysis unit, initially we thought this is going to be totally impossible. And I think, just like Dr. Ramahan thought, we thought this will be totally impossible. The water has to be filtered properly. You need a place to dialyze. We need to have organized. Yes, I think one of my colleagues called him crazy. But he went away and actually donated his own home, and we built a dialysis unit there. And it was truly the most gratifying thing to actually start dialyzing people there. And those young individuals, the 16-year-old, the 18-year-old, the 22-year-old, you can now certainly keep them alive. And then we went beyond and above. And remember, this is a time where there is nothing going on. And we introduced dialysis to the main hospital there at the time, GPHC. And despite a whole bunch of obstacles that the hospital put up, we actually introduced dialysis there and actually started to look after people there and provided care. And we've expanded dialysis out. And with dialysis, we expanded out now to really make it patient-centric. We now dialyze close to over 100 patients over there that would have actually all passed away if it wasn't for Dr. Dubey's vision. We now have centers that are established in New Amsterdam so we can help people there. And now, as you heard, we're headed towards Parika to help people out. And this vision, you can have a vision, but you need practicality. You need the instrument of God. And the instrument of God is really all of you individuals here today. It's because of your donations and your support and your kindness and your thoughtfulness, and you're willing to help support the poor, the needy, really those unfortunate people. That's why this dream, this vision is a success. And so we built the dialysis unit, okay, but we still know diabetes and high blood pressure is still a big deal. In Guyana, the average age is less than 60 when they pass away. In Canada, we're here till our mid-80s. And so when you look at all these individuals, it's like, how do we actually prevent the disease from happening, not just looking at the end product? And so we developed a clinic there. And again, Dr. Dubey's vision, we expanded Dr. Dubey's house. We had some additional land purchased, and we expanded out to the clinics. And then we built clinics, and then we expanded out to a pharmacy, and then we expanded out to a lab, because we needed a lab to make this functional. And then we needed to have doctors. And we needed to have true good doctors that were trained, that actually knew what they were doing. And this is where the university and the international outreach program at St. Joe's was pivotal in helping us bring students over at McMaster so that we can train and have them trained so they can be the finest when they go back. And they can start providing care in a Canadian standard way. And so it is truly my pleasure to introduce Dr. Baldio Singh, who has done a phenomenal job. He has become a nephrologist in Canada, has trained here. He's specialized in GN. He has some training in transplantation, and actually has some additional training in rheumatology. And he will take all those skills back to the center back there. And then we had an opportunity to train Dr. Shazima Shah, who was an infectious disease specialist, and who, again, will be the only infectious disease specialist back in Guyana. And so she is going to be going back as well, providing that care. You heard Dr. Ahmad mention Dr. Carlos, who we trained over here to become a vascular surgeon to help create fistulas and look after patients with peripheral arterial disease. All of these things emanated from the fact that this individual decided to have a vision about dialysis, and with that got involved a whole bunch of organizations, IDRF, the university, the International Outreach Program. Otherwise, none of this would have actually happened. None of this would actually occur, and without your support, none of this actually would be here. We are now embarking on transplantation going forward. You heard about the surgical suites. We now have an intensive care unit that's being developed. We are planning to have a ward down there, and we're also hoping to introduce an infectious disease lab up there with Dr. Shaw going back down there as well. And with Dr. Singh, he's going to be very pivotal for us, as he's going to be really our right-hand individual in helping establish a hospital administrator there and looking over the care of patients even more. And with that collaboration, I'm going to mention a couple more things, is that some of those physicians that came down here that we trained are now very aligned with us and are very supportive and truly understand the need to provide care for those who are less fortunate, who can't afford the care, who need the help. And now we actually have developed this clinic where we have actual physicians who have had some Canadian experience come down to us and now being able to provide really good care. So I just want to let you know that the money that you invest is really going into a good spot. It's really going into providing care for the young, for the old, for the middle-aged, for all those individuals who are so much less fortunate than we are, and who really need, in a way, as I would say, God's hand and God's help, which is really all of you here today. So thank you very much, and thank you again, Dr. Dubey. And I'll ask Dr. Singh to come up. So Dr. Singh is, I think when we got him over here, I wanted to make him a specialist in everything. He is truly a remarkable individual, such a bright individual, almost like my son. And so I'd like to introduce him.
Hi, everyone. My name is Baldeo. I grew up in Leg1. I'm not sure if most of you know where Leg1 is. It's in the it's the mouth of the Essequibo. When you go to Perica, you look across, you see Leg1. And I came here to one of the galas, I think, in 2018. It was much more big. I think it was inside when there wasn't COVID. And there was lots of people. And Dr. Dubey asked me to come on the stage and just say something. I was so nervous, I didn't know what to say. But now I think I can say something. I just want to extend my gratitude and thanks, not on behalf of myself, as well as the patients in Guyana that benefit from all your donation. And I think some of them don't know where it's coming from, but you really help the patients, because most of them cannot afford dialysis. The cost of dialysis is very expensive in Guyana. Well, recently the government did give some money towards it, but still like 1/3 of the cost. And as Dr. Dubey mentioned, people come from all over, especially like from Essequibo and Barbies. Now we have a unit in Barbies which help those people, because when they travel, they take like 4 to 6 hours in traveling, as well as the cost to travel. So it's a lot on the patients. And with everything that Dr. Dubey is doing in Guyana, it's making it more affordable and accessible to the patients. So I would just like to extend my gratitude and thanks to you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Singh. And I would like to thank Dr. Ganji also, who came here and very simply put over the hard work that he has done in Guyana for all these patients. But people like these are very special. They are difficult to find. There are very few people who will give of themselves. That's what they do. Give of themselves to this project. And we hope Dr. Baldeo did not say that how he arranged the consultants to come to Guyana, to the clinic on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday together with Dr. Ganji, which is a very, very important thing. And the effort he put in so that we can get the dialysis program starting in Perica. So we'll get one in Berbice, we have one in Annandale, We are going to have one in Parika in 3 months' time, and I think we'll have one in Georgetown in about 4 to 6 months' time, depending upon when the people who do not own the house lives in the house. You know what I call them? Squatters. So there's about 50 people from Tiger Bay. Anyone know what Tiger Bay is? 50 people from Tiger Bay living in their house, so it'll be a difficult problem to get rid of them. And when we get rid of them, the only way to get rid of them is, anyhow, we are online, right? So this effort is not Dr. Dubey's. This effort is all of you, plus Mr. and Mrs. Gafoor, who have done yeoman service to this dialysis clinic in Guyana. Mr. and Mrs. Gafoor, they have given hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm talking about the real dollar, not Canadian dollar, realer Canadian. You know what I mean? It's green, the green dollar. So I have to thank them together because they have made a difference to so many other persons, IDRF of course, and two of our directors there, Ganesh Prasad, Roop, who has made a tremendous effort in our clinic, and Najab and his family. All the doctors who go with me from here to Guyana know Najab and his family. Because from the airport, first stop, where's it, Rab? Najab's house. We go, and Deepika, you were there too. We went there, we ate there, and we go back and we eat again. And the roti is hot off the tawa. And, whenever you go to Guyana, you come back, you put on at least 5 to 10 pounds. Ram, how much did you put on? 6 pounds. Because there is flour, and more flour. But it is really well cooked, and so we do that. We have with us a guest from England, with us, Mr. Pujara. And would you like to say a few words, Mr. Pujara? No? He's a brother of Raju, and is a very great friend of ours and a great friend of our temple. So we'd like to welcome you here today with us, sir. Are you ready? You ready? Now, when I started this dialysis clinic, I always have to think how to get money. So I thought of a fellow called Kasim. When I got the Order of Ontario, he was the only person that invited me together with, and I still remember his name, was Jennings. Was that Jennings? I think it was Ken Jennings. Or whatever. Anyway, Jennings, whatever. And they gave me an Eskimo carving. And I still remember that up to date. I don't know where the carving is, but like as a matter of fact, I do not even know where my medal is. Anyway, so Winston came there and helped us. And then Winston told me, look, I can get IDRF to help you. And the first money IDRF gave to us was $100,000 at the first gala we had. $100,000 first. Besides that, they have gone to Guyana so many times. And because of Winston, and I'm sure only because of Winston, this is why we have gotten this sort of money from IDRF. And the dialysis clinic will not be what it is had it not been for all these sets of people, the Gafoors, IDRF, yourselves. So many people give me checks of $5,000 today. They don't know what their names to be called. And I would like to ask Winston, because we want to do the clinic in Parika. That's one expense. Second expense we have is to furnish the operating rooms. When it is finished, we got to furnish it. And I'll ask Dr. Ramohan's advice with this. We got to get proper operating beds, proper operating lights. Because you see, Dr. Ramohan looks sweet and nice to you all here today, right? Well, you should see him in the operating room where the light is moving as he's focusing on the fistula, and as they're about to put the stitch, the light moves. Why the light moves and how it moves, nobody knows, but the light just moves. And he gets very irritable. He made me spend $8,000 to buy instruments for our last trip to Guyana. Unfortunately, the instruments we got were not to his suiting. So before we started the case, he was already upset. So although you see he looks nice, and admirable guy, helping us out a lot, he is not nice when things are not right. Am I true? Absolutely. But, because of this, we have to get all these things right. So I would like to say to everyone that we need a lot of $300,000-$400,000 to get things going. I know we will get it. I have no problems with that. I know we'll get it. It's going to start, and our operating rooms will get going. Without any further ado, I would like to ask Winston, who is an Order of Canada, the only Guyanese I know who has got the Order of Canada, to come and address us. Winston?
Thank you, Dr. Dubé. First of all, I think it's been a privilege working with Dr. Dubé in this journey. It is a rather a satisfying, from my standpoint, it's very satisfying to see, as most of the speakers, if not all, have said, where he started from and where he is today. As Dr. Dubé knows, one of the things that IDRF does is to ensure that we do monitoring trips. And in this monitoring trips, we have to ensure that the financials are being taken into consideration and that the monies are being spent in the projects that are being given to. We're delighted to say that IDRF has seen all of these projects through, and through the due diligence and the fiduciary responsibility of Dr. Dubé and the directors for the Dubé Medical Center, we're more than satisfied with that. As a matter of fact, I'll go back a little bit, and we're talking about the visionary of Dr. Dubé. As a matter of fact, Dr. Dubé talks about myself and him meeting in the 1990s, and he did not speak about himself and my brother, my elder brother, who's a doctor in Guyana. They practiced together. So it was through that medium when I heard that someone, who was looking after private banking, and he was a private banking client. That means that he had money at that time. Since that time, he has given away all of his money. So that is why, we took him out and, lunched him and looked after him. But he also helped my brother, who was a doctor who came over here and who had cancer and went through at one of the hospitals here, Princess Margaret Hospital. And so Dr. Dubé was very instrumental. So what goes around comes around. So no matter what we do, you can say that it so happened that Dr. Dubé is the one who helped. But in turn, that is why the first time he had that thing, that I willingly put up my hand and I said, whatever you're doing, Doc, I will help. I'll be there and help you. So far, so good. Let me just speak a little bit also about the Gaffurs, Mr. and Mrs. Gaffur. And it was true, Dr. Dubé, and when the Gaffurs saw that IDRF was instrumental in there, I remember having a chat a couple of years ago, and it was a very long chat with Mrs. Gaffur. And I said, Mrs. Gaffur, how much money have you given to the Dubé Center? She said, boy, just like that, boy, I really don't know. I think it's about $1 million. No. 1.5, no, 2.1. You know what, Winston? I can't really tell you. I stopped counting. So it was about over $2 million US. But all of this money, the point is that that's a significant sum. But it's part and parcel of what the Gaffurs do also in Guyana. They're one of the most generous folks in Guyana that I have ever come across. So while we in Canada are doing our little bit, people in Guyana also are contributing. One last point I want to make. I have always said that we want to make this clinic self-sustaining. And typically, any organization that gives an organization, they normally give the money for about 3 years, and that's about it to ensure the self-sustainability. But Dr. Dubé keeps extending year after year. As you heard from Dr. Ganji, is from one project to the next project. So while it is self-sustaining in 1 year, that will go to 3 years, he starts up another one. So, for example, the one in Parika that he's talking about that all of a sudden has now occurred. So we need more money for that. But Dr. Dubé has assured me, and I have given him my promise, that as soon as we go through this phase, starting next year, on the completion of the extension of the hospital with the operating rooms, I will take much more of an active interest in that to ensure that it is self-sustaining. And what we mean by that, we will help the dialysis patients. We will cover partially the costs that the government is not covering, and hopefully they will contribute some of it. So we want to do 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. And how we will achieve that so that Dr. Dubé does not have to come back here year after year to ask for that money is that by extending what Dr. Ganji said about the other parts of the hospital, we want to make money in that part to cover and to subsidize the cost of the dialysis patients. So through that, I would like to help Dr. Dubé to ensure the sustainability of it. So, but Dr. Dubé expects me to say something else. So on behalf of all of the donors for IDRF, and I have my 2 elder sisters here with me and my wife and sister-in-law who contribute towards IDRF, and a number of donors who have contributed towards the IDRF, we would like to contribute to today's event $40,000. Thank you.
That last sentence was the most important sentence. Because I was waiting. And he ghote. Thank you, Winston. As usual, we can always rely upon you. We wanted to raise $100,000. We have got $95,000 so far. I know if Roop is listening to me from Guyana, he will call me and tell me that he's going to give the $5,000. But I don't know if he's listening or not. But you can consider it done. $100,000 for today, complete. I would like to thank Bob Tanna for his contribution to this dialysis clinic and his brother Raj and Chuck. When we started here, how much money they have given to this clinic. All the time they give. They don't belong to Guyana. They have never been to, Bob has never been to Guyana, but they continue to contribute because they feel that I have something. Ken and his wife, they both went to Guyana. They saw the dialysis clinic. And when Ken did not want to give me any money, his wife said, "You have to give." Right? Well, I got it. Anyhow, so there it is. Dwarka gone? Oh. Okay. Oh, Boja there too? I would like to introduce to you today the gentleman from, we have an Ayurvedic clinic. And the Ayurvedic clinic is a clinic that you can get medicines that are not pharmacological medicine, natural medicine. It is very, very important. As a matter of fact, I take medicines from them for my rheumatoid arthritis. So this is how good the clinic is. And you know, for rheumatoid arthritis, you know what the doctors give you? Steroids, right, Baleo? We won't bother Dr. Ganji about that. They give you steroids, they give you Advil, they give you all these anti-inflammatory drugs which bore a hole in the stomach. Dr. Ganji don't know what I'm talking about, right? Baldev? Bore a hole in the stomach. He won't know what that is. Okay. You know what's bore a hole in the stomach, Azim? Oh, yeah. So the Ayurvedic doctor will tell you about his clinic. It's a very good clinic. And just a quick thing, and then we'll have some music. And we are going to go for dinner. I thought you went away, Ram. Oh, because you didn't get to eat and you got away. Dr. Verma.
Good evening, Namaskar. I am Dr. Harish Verma. I am an Ayurvedic doctor. I came to Canada in 2015.
Go ahead. Talk.
Okay, thank you. And I met many people in mainstream, and I asked about them. I asked about, do you know what is Ayurveda? Many answered, we don't know what is Ayurveda. So let me give a small introduction about Ayurveda. Ayurveda is the oldest medical science in the world. It started 5,000 years ago in India. It's a part of Vedas. 4 Vedas were written when the life started on this earth. And we are at a place which is called Voice of Vedas. 4 Vedas are Rig Veda, Yajurved, Samved, and Atharvaved. And Ayurveda is a part of Atharvaved. It is called Science of Life. Recently, WHO has started a traditional system, Center for Research on Traditional System of Medicine in India, particularly Ayurveda. It's a huge center. And we played a vital role in getting collaboration of All India Institute of Ayurveda and UHN. They wrote a MOU in presence of Prime Minister Modi for research on Ayurvedic medicine. It's just recently it has been done on 20th April. So Ayurveda, we have started a Ayurveda center at VOV, and we have also planned a college of Ayurveda where we will be teaching students to become Ayurveda practitioner. It's a 2 year course, and details are available at the table. We have a booth outside. And here we are treating particularly autoimmune diseases. I have already treated many thousand patients of ulcerative colitis in my career. I have cured many patients. It is all on my website. My website is sushruta.com. Sushruta was a surgeon who started surgery at ancient time, and is a scientist of Ayurveda, and I started my clinic in his name. It's sushruta.com. You can see my website, and we have my clinic in Delhi is particularly for ulcerative colitis. We treat IBD patients, Crohn's, colitis, and particularly those patients who are not responding to mainline allopathic drugs, including steroids, biological drugs, and even the patients who were recommended colectomy, they got well with the Ayurvedic medicines, because Ayurvedic medicines have got a quality of regenerating the tissues. A few months back when I came here, Krishnaji, president of VOV, he came to my clinic here. He said, I have osteoarthritis. I recommended him ashwagandha capsules and turmeric capsules. These are available nowadays at Costco. And today he told me, my arthritis is gone. This is the rejuvenation. And the concept of rejuvenation is missing in modern medicine. I have treated so many patients of autoimmune diseases, including lupus, vitiligo, psoriasis, many autoimmune diseases. We found the rejuvenating concept, the cells which have been damaged, body is producing antibodies against those cells, that is not stopped. But if you rejuvenate, if you regenerate the cells, then body stops autoimmune phenomena. This is what we are doing in India, and we have started a center here. And two informations I want to share. We are going to organize a free camp for the patients who are having chronic skin diseases, those who are using lot of steroids. Few days back, a gynecologist in California, she consulted me about her daughter. She had atopic dermatitis, and I recommended her plain ghee to apply on the skin lesion, and whatever the relief she got, she told on telephone in the presence of Gayatri ji. She was on phone and she said, my daughter, she is 6 years old. She was recommended hydrocortisone ointments, other things, but she got cured with the ghee and some herbs which I prescribed to her. So this system has lot of cure which are available, and there's a need for research on these medicines. We are open here, and I invite all the doctors who can come here, who can see how these medicines are working. And we have also started a plan to open a college here, because WHO, very recently, WHO has posted 2 documents on their website. The guidelines to become a Ayurveda practitioner, the curriculum to become a Ayurveda practitioner. It is for all over, they are planning to popularize Ayurveda all over the world. It's just a beginning of international Ayurveda. And we have started a college here. In September, we are going to open the classes. In the beginning, it will be for the professionals, and later on, we will be starting the classes for the general public. The information is available on the desk. And the camp we are organizing for the skin disorders, it will be every second Sunday of June, July, and August. And information is available on the desk. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you so much, Dr. Verma. So as you can see, Canada, in Toronto here, we're learning about the science of Ayurveda. I might just add to that, when I was growing up in Trinidad, my grandmother, she used to make us rub pure cow ghee on any rashes and any bumps on our skin, and I think it worked. So we have some groundbreaking areas in Ayurvedic that's happening. The school that is going to be opening soon. So as we continue with the DMRC fundraiser tonight, there are other ways, innovative ways that we also raise funds. And one, I must make mention of Kalhuna Ho, and if Prakash is around, I hope he has something in store this year. We're waiting for that exciting news. And now I want to introduce another big event that's happening in Toronto. I will now bring Roy Dubé to the podium to talk about this exciting, innovative event for DMRC. It's not new to Toronto, but it's new for DMRC.
Thank you, Jayanti. Dr. Dubé, family and friends, good evening, namaste. It gives me great pleasure this evening, and I could not have asked for a better scene set to make this announcement. With the guidance and support from Dr. Dubé, and I know there are many Dr. Dubés around, I'm talking about the Dr. Dubé. Our global outreach care program, the Guyana Dialysis and Eye Clinic, is a proud member, charity member of the Toronto 2022 Toronto Waterfront Marathon. So we are registered with the Toronto Waterfront Marathon. Now you're probably sitting there and you're thinking, what does this mean? What does all of this mean? How do I participate? And I know that, I'm competing with dinner right now, so I will try and make this very brief. Very brief. So in very simple terms, the event is organized by the Toronto Waterfront Marathon. We are a charity member, and our job basically is to sell membership to participate in the marathon. And each person that signs up to participate in the marathon will have their own fundraising page, and they will be able to raise funds under their fundraising page for the marathon. So think about it for a minute. This opportunity allows us to cast our net quite wide. It allows us basically to go to our neighbors, go to our co-workers, go to friends, go to our bankers, and ask them to basically provide support for us as an individual running into the marathon for our Guyana Dialysis and Eye Clinic Center. And as I look around here, I see there are a lot of folks who have the potential of running a marathon, and there are lots that probably had it on their bucket list. So you're thinking of the word marathon, and you're probably thinking that, how do I participate in a marathon? This event has got something for each one of us. You can run 42 kilometers, the full marathon. You can run a half marathon, 21 kilometers, or you can do 5K. The 5K, you can do it by running, or you could walk it. So it's our opportunity to participate in something quite incredible. You know, it's a whole new world out there to experience being part of a marathon. We have the youths out there, and you can find out more about it. I was listening earlier, and I think Raju, brother, is in the crowd here. And this event also offers us a virtual participation. What that means is that you can participate from any country, any city, even within Toronto. If you do not want to participate in person, you can participate virtually. And what that means is you can participate between the September 16th and October 16th timeframe. You can run the marathon starting at your front door, and you keep track of basically the amount of time that you took to run it. And you don't have to do it all at once. You could do it in increments over a number of days, and you can be part of this event to raise funds. So I'm hoping that I will be signing you up from the UK to be your first virtual participant. And please, before you leave tonight, see the youths at the table. There's more information. We'll have more information on our website. I am very, very excited about it. Dr. Dubé has led the way. He's already signed up for the 5K in person on October 16th. So please join us, and let's cast our net wider. Let's get out there. Let's talk to people about what we are doing in Guyana with the Dialysis Center. Get our neighbors, like I said, get our family, our friends, our co-workers, and let's make this big. Let's make this a great outreach. And I'm looking forward to your participation, so thank you very much. And now I'll turn it over back to the MC. Thank you.
Thank you, Roy Dubé. Working and volunteering here at Vishnu Mandir is like running a marathon, so we're all ready and fit. I would like to call on a person who has been very instrumental in the planning and execution of the DMRC dinner tonight, and it's none other than Radharani Rajaram.
It's okay. Namaste, everyone. I'm so happy to see everyone here, and I'm just here to give the thank yous. So I would like to say thank you to our online viewers for your support. It would have been wonderful if you could have joined us in person, but we're still happy that we can reach you in your homes. And thank you to everyone that has come out here today and listen to everything and give us all your support, your donation, and everything. I would like to thank everyone else who has participated in ensuring this is a success. Thank the band, Kudas, for being behind the camera. The Auntie Annie, Uncle Robin, Planet Boj, Auntie Tage for organizing the food, the venue, and ensuring everything is all set up. Thank you to the MCs, and thank you to our youth group and Pam, the leader of the youth group, and of course to Rani Ji and the team, the coordinating team. And of course Keith and the boys in the kitchen who ensure that we will have a wonderful meal this evening. So without further ado, you can all enjoy your dinner. Thank you.
So this brings us to the end of the program, and dinner is announced by Radha. If she announces it, then oh, here we go. Prakash.
Sorry, dinner. Bad thing to come between. So Doc announced we were at 95,000, and I just want to respond to a text message from an online viewer. Mr. Aditi Prasad just donated the $5,000 to make sure it's 100,000. So thank you very much. And she's asking that Sunil sing a special song for her husband by Roop Prasad. All right. So we'll make sure we have this this song, and Sunil, for sure. And Sunil, we just heard Janti ask about Kalho Naho. So for Kalho Naho, we'll work out the date. That's good.
Sure, I will let you know.
Good. All right. So over to you, Sunil, and we'll come back after the song and announce dinner. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening to us, and I do appreciate your patience with us. And again, Dr. Dubey, thank you for giving us the opportunity to serve with you.
I just would like to say thank you to Aditi. They have been a host when Dr. Rammohan was there. We went to their house for dinner with Roop. And we'd like to thank you very much for all that you have done for us. And I know I can always rely on you. I know you're looking at light. God bless you. And I would like to say thanks to Dwarka, who's all the way from Kitchener to come to help us here. He started with us when his dialysis clinic started. He gave $5,000 the first time when we started, and subsequent donations from him also. And he's building a temple in Cambridge. We wish him all the best. I'll ask Radha to announce. So I'd like to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for being here. I would like Bob to speak, but it's too late now, Bob. So okay. I would like to thank Rani Gupta, who has always been a great supporter of our temple, and our dialysis. We have the operating room will be named after her husband. One of the operating rooms will be named after her. She wanted a room, but I decided to give her the whole operating room to name after her husband, who was a very great supporter of our temple and passed away sadly a few years ago. So Rani, thank you very much. We always remember you, and thank you for all your donations. Thank you. Jati?
So dinner will be served now, and we'll try and do this in an orderly fashion, not everybody at once. So we'll start with table number 1. Please proceed to the tent on the left-hand side. And then we'll go on to number 2, and so forth. 1 and 2, go ahead. You can go ahead and sing a song.
2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Next song
Table
is
number 1 and
dedicated
2.
to Aditi and Roop Prasad in Guyana. क्या हुआ तेरा वादा वो कसम वो इरादा क्या हुआ तेरा वादा
कसम वो इरादा भूलेगा दिल जिस दिन तुम्हें वो दिन जिंदगी का आखिरी दिन होगा क्या हुआ तेरा वादा वो कसम वो इरादा जिसने प्यार को बेच दिया नशा दौलत का ऐसा भी क्या कि तुझे कुछ भी याद नहीं क्या हुआ तेरा वादा वो कसम वो इरादा भूलेगा दिल जिस दिन तुम्हें वो दिन जिंदगी का आखिरी दिन होगा क्या हुआ तेरा वादा कर ले साजना वादा कर ले साजना तेरे बिन मैं न रहूं मेरे बिन तू न रहे हो के जुदा न होंगे जुदा प्यार मिला अपनी तो है बस यही दुआ हर जन्म यूं मिल के रहेंगे हर जन्म यूं मिलते रहेंगे सुंदर सा हो अपना जहां प्यार अपना रहे सदा जवां हम दुख मिल के सहेंगे हम सुख दुख मिल के सहेंगे
वादा कर ले जाने जा वादा कर ले जाने जा तेरे बिना मैं न रहूं मेरे बिना तू न रहोगे जुदा
ये वादा रहा
रहोगे जुदा
ये वादा रहा धीरे धीरे से मेरी जिंदगी में आना धीरे धीरे से दिल को चुराना तुमसे प्यार हमें है कितना जाने जाना तुमसे मिलकर तुमको है बताना
धीरे धीरे से मेरी जिंदगी में आना धीरे धीरे से दिल को चुराना तुमसे प्यार हमें है कितना जाने जाना तुमसे मिलकर तुमको है बताना
जब से तुझे देखा दिल को कहीं आराम नहीं मेरे होठों पे एक तेरे सिवा कोई नाम नहीं बन गया हूँ मैं तेरा दीवाना धीरे धीरे से दिल को चुराना
धीरे धीरे से मेरी जिंदगी में आना धीरे धीरे से दिल को चुराना
The Toronto Waterfront Marathon, which is an amazing event to help keep Dr. Dubé, family and friends, namaste. My name is Dr. Victoria Dubé, and it gives me great pleasure and joy today to launch our marathon fundraising initiative. So first off, let me help you answer a few questions. What is it? It is our charity partnering with the Toronto Waterfront Marathon, which is an amazing event to help keep you active. And we are raising funds for our Guyana dialysis and eye clinics. How can you participate and why should you participate? First off, it's your opportunity to get physically active. It's good for your health, your wellness, your mind, the mind-body-spirit connection. It's also your opportunity to spend time with family and friends outdoors, training for the event in the beautiful spring and summer weather, and maybe even meeting some new people along the way. It's also your opportunity to raise funds to help humanity for a really excellent cause, like saving a life with dialysis or helping someone to regain their vision. So all in all, it's your opportunity to do something for you and others all at the same time. Maybe you're hearing the word marathon and feeling a little bit nervous or skeptical, which is completely normal. I don't want you to be afraid of the word marathon because this is an event that offers a structure or an option for every single person. There's an in-person format on October 16th that includes the following options. There's the full marathon, the 42K run or walk. There's the half marathon, the 21K run or walk. And then there's the 5K run or walk. And I'll be completing the 5K run this year. There's also a virtual option, which is incredible, that takes place anytime between September 16th to October 16th. So that offers a lot of opportunity and flexibility, because you can kind of record yourself doing this run over
मुझे तेरी मोहब्बत का सहारा मिल गया होता, अगर तूफान नहीं आता, किनारा मिल गया होता।
मुझे तेरी मोहब्बत का सहारा मिल गया होता, मुझे तेरी मोहब्बत का सहारा मिल गया होता, अगर तूफान नहीं आता, किनारा मिल गया होता।
मुझे तेरी मोहब्बत का सहारा मिल गया होता। मंज़ूर किस्मत को, न थी मर्ज़ी बहारों की, नहीं तो इस गुलिस्तां में, नहीं तो इस गुलिस्तां में कमी थी क्या नज़ारों की। मुझे कोई सहारा मिल गया होता, अगर तूफान नहीं आता, किनारा मिल गया होता। मुझे तेरी मोहब्बत का सहारा मिल गया होता। खुशी से अपनी आँखों को मैं अश्कों से भिगो लेता, मेरे बदले तू हंस लेती, मेरे बदले तू हंस लेती, तेरे बदले मैं रो लेता। मुझे कहते हैं ये दुनिया के रास्ते कोई मंजिल नहीं तेरे वास्ते कहते हैं ये दुनिया के रास्ते कोई मंजिल नहीं तेरे वास्ते नाकामियों से नाता मेरा जोड़ा अमानुष बना के छोड़ा दिल ऐसा किसी ने मेरा तोड़ा बर्बादी की तरफ ऐसा मोड़ा एक भले मानुष को अमानुष बना के छोड़ा दिल ऐसा किसी ने मेरा तोड़ा बर्बादी की तरफ ऐसा मोड़ा तुम पास आए यूं मुस्कुराए तुम पास आए यूं मुस्कुराए तुमने न जाने क्या सपने दिखाए तुम पास आए यूं मुस्कुराए तुमने न जाने क्या सपने दिखाए अब तो मेरा दिल जागे न सोता है क्या करूँ हाय कुछ कुछ होता है क्या करूँ हाय कुछ कुछ होता है
तुम पास आए यूं मुस्कुराए तुमने न जाने क्या सपने दिखाए अब तो मेरा दिल जागे न सकता है क्या करूँ हाय कुछ कुछ होता है क्या करूँ हाय कुछ कुछ होता है
कोई न जाने क्यों चैन खोता है क्या करूँ हाय कुछ कुछ होता है क्या करूँ हाय कुछ कुछ होता है
दिल दीवाना बिन सजना के माने ना दिल दीवाना बिन सजना के माने ना ये पगला है समझाने से समझे ना ये पगला है समझाने से समझे ना
धक धक बोले तूत डोले दिन रहना ये पगला है समझाने से समझे ना, ये पगला है समझाने से समझे ना। तो ये जाना सनम, प्यार होता है दीवाना सनम। तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम, प्यार होता है दीवाना सनम। अब यहाँ से कहाँ जाए हम, तेरी बाहों में मर जाए हम। तो ये जाना सनम। तो ये जाना सनम, प्यार होता है दीवाना सनम। अब यहाँ से कहाँ जाए हम, तेरी बाहों में मर जाए हम। तुझे देखा तो ये जाना सनम। मुझे नींद ना आए, नींद ना आए, नींद ना आए।
मुझे चैन ना आए, चैन ना आए, चैन ना आए।
मुझे नींद ना आए, हो मुझे नींद न आए, मुझे चैन न आए, कोई जाए जरा ढूंढ के लाए। न जाने कहाँ दिल खो गया, न जाने कहाँ दिल खो गया, न जाने कहाँ दिल खो गया, न जाने कहाँ दिल खो गया।
मुझे नींद ना आए, मुझे चैन ना आए, कोई जाए जरा ढूंढ के लाए। न जाने कहाँ दिल खो गया, न जाने कहाँ दिल खो गया, न जाने कहाँ दिल खो गया, न जाने कहाँ दिल खो गया। हालत क्या है कैसे तुझे बताऊं मैं, करवट बदल बदल के रात बिताऊं मैं। हालत क्या है कैसे तुझे बताऊं मैं, करवट बदल बदल के रात बिताऊं मैं।
पूछो जरा पूछो क्या हाल है, हाल मेरा बेहाल है। पूछो जरा पूछो क्या हाल है, हाल मेरा बेहाल है। कभी मुझको सताए, कभी मुझको रुलाए, कोई जाए जरा ढूंढ के लाए। न जाने कहाँ दिल खो गया, न जाने कहाँ दिल खो गया।
न जाने कहाँ दिल खो गया, न जाने कहाँ दिल खो गया। परदेसी परदेसी जाना नहीं, परदेसी परदेसी जाना नहीं। मुझे छोड़ के, मुझे छोड़ के, परदेसी मेरे यारा, वादा निभाना, मुझे याद रखना, कहीं भूल न जाना।
परदेसी परदेसी जाना नहीं, परदेसी परदेसी जाना नहीं। मुझे छोड़ के, मुझे छोड़ के, परदेसी मेरे यारा, वादा निभाना, मुझे याद रखना, कहीं भूल न जाना।
परदेसी परदेसी जाना नहीं, परदेसी परदेसी जाना नहीं। मुझे छोड़ के, मुझे छोड़ के।
you, thank you, thank you. No, yeah, yeah. No, yeah.
Sham Taravina Samul.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Is it? Is it
More bunny sangat. More bunny sangat. Nito. રાજનું પહેલા લે છે ને ગોરી રાધાને કાળો કાન ગોરી રાધાને કાળો કાન
Sí, di. Sí,
धन गन तो मोर लो के नि परदेसी छेड़े हमारे मारन मजी मारा खरो कराव्यो मेल रे खरो कराव्यो This is a song request, especially a Gujarati song. This is a request. You can do a garba. Jai ho! पश्चिम ना राधा रानी पूरब नो कानूनो ये भी आहंस लानी जोड़ रे दोड़ा ला दान मान तो मांडी ने जुएगा ओ पश्चिम ना राधा रानी पूरब नो कानूनो ये भी आहंस लानी जोड़ रे मानो में घूमे बेलड़ी ने क्या मिठारे ना कोड रे राधा नु तनडू नाचे मनडू नाचे कान्हानी मोरली भुलावे जोने सौना भान गोरी राधा निकालो कान गरबे घूमे भूली भान गोरी 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 राधा निकालो कान गरबे घूमे भूली भान रवि न श्याम ने एक लड़ू लागे आँख दुलाना हो आवजे रवि न श्याम ने एक लड़ू लागे जिया हो आवजे रवि न श्याम एक लड़ू लागे तारा बिना श्याम एक लड़ू लागे रस रमवान वेलो आवजे हो रस रमवान वेलो आवजे तारा बिना श्याम ने एक लड़ू लागे रस रमवान वेलो आवजे तारा बिना श्याम ने एक लड़ू लागे रास रमवाने वेलो आवजे
Dr. Dubé, family and friends, namaste. My name is Dr. Victoria Dubé, and it gives me great pleasure and joy today to launch our marathon fundraising initiative. So first off, let me help you answer a few questions. What is it? It is our charity partnering with the Toronto Waterfront Marathon, which is an amazing event to help keep you active. And we are raising funds for our Guyana dialysis and eye clinics. How can you participate and why should you participate? First off, it's your opportunity to get physically active. It's good for your health, your wellness, your mind, the mind-body-spirit connection. It's also your opportunity to spend time with family and friends outdoors, training for the event in the beautiful spring and summer weather, and maybe even meeting some new people along the way. It's also your opportunity to raise funds to help humanity for a really excellent cause, like saving a life with dialysis or helping someone to regain their vision. So all in all, it's your opportunity to do something for you and others all at the same time. Maybe you're hearing the word marathon and feeling a little bit nervous or skeptical, which is completely normal. I don't want you to be afraid of the word marathon because this is an event that offers a structure or an option for every single person. There's an in-person format on October 16th that includes the following options. There's the full marathon, the 42K run or walk. There's the half marathon, the 21K run or walk. And then there's the 5K run or walk. And I'll be completing the 5K run this year. There's also a virtual option, which is incredible, that takes place anytime between September 16th to October 16th. So that offers a lot of opportunity and flexibility because you can kind of record yourself doing this run over however many days. So for example, you can also participate from any location, including any country. So the virtual options are similar to the in-person. You can do the full marathon, the half marathon, or the 5K. So before I turn it back to Dr. Dubé, I did want to provide just a little bit of a history of how I started half marathons and triathlons and how I've benefited from it. So maybe this was about 10 years ago. I wanted to go back to the gym, and a good friend of mine who made triathlon training plans asked me if I wanted a training plan, and I was like, all right, why not? And before I knew it, I was launched into the world of swimming, biking, and running. And lo and behold, it ended up being one of the most therapeutic things for me. It was sort of a solace for me. It was a way to connect with my mind, my body, my spirit, become so in tune and aware of all the little things going on in my body and how that contributed to my mindset. It also was an incredible opportunity to make some new friends, some of which are still very good friends of mine. And the community in these races is incredible. It's so supportive, you feel a sense of belonging, and you're there doing something wonderful in a shared collective experience. So I really hope that something that I've said today resonates for you and that you'll take the leap and sign up. If you're interested in anything that I've shared with you today, there's a lot more information on the Mandir website, and you can also ask any of your questions to Radharani Rajaram or to Roy Dubé. I'll be back at a later date with some training tips on running, and I'm happy to help support in any way. Thank you so much for your time today, and I'll now turn it back to Dr. Dubé.
है एक डाली के फूल मैं ना भूला तू कैसे मुझको गई भूल ला 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 ओ देखो हम तुम दोनों है एक डाली के फूल मैं ना भूला तू कैसे मुझको गई भूल पास आ ये जो कहना है 1000 में मेरी बहना है सारी उम्र हमें संग रहना है फूलों का तारों का सबका कहना है
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Another request, another request, another request. Another request for Prakash. Prakash. Where is Prakash? He left? Yeah. He's over. No, not that Prakash. That's the other Prakash. That's why it's so bright, because we have too many Prakash here. अरे प्रकाश को बुलाओ प्रकाश किधर है उनके बिना यहाँ पे अंधेरा है भाई
टेम्पो छोड़ो बेस
Special request for Prakash.
तेरे जैसा यार कहाँ ऐसा याराना याद करेगी दुनिया तेरा मेरा अफसाना तेरे जैसा यार कहाँ ऐसा याराना कभी दूर तू न जाए, तेरे बिना हो जीना वो दिन कभी न आए। वो तेरे दिल की ये दुआ है,